So, what type of exercise you should do when while you're pregnant? Like, what exercises are safe? We are all talking about like prenatal yoga, postnatal yoga, yoga during pregnancy, exercises during pregnancy, which is great. All of us are pretty used to that now. But you need to understand what is safe, right? And that's what the topic is today: exercise for pregnancy. And hang on for 1 second. I'm invite Claire. Claire is a yoga teacher, a nutrition coach, and a functional medicine practitioner, and she specializes in pregnancy exercises. Hi there, Claire. How are you?
Hi. Hi, I'm very well. How are you?
Great, great. I'm great. So I was just
Good.
telling the viewers, we are talking about exercise during pregnancy and how you specialize in that. And you are a yoga teacher, nutrition coach, functional medicine uh, uh, practitioner. Anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, personal trainer as well. So yeah, I've
Oh,
been
wow.
working now in the health and fitness industry for like 13 years. So it's been a real nice journey to work, especially with our sort of preconception pregnancy clients, and sort of help them on their journey and really help nurture and nourish their bodies during this important process.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about the difference between the preconception journey and, during the pregnancy, the 9 months, and what is the difference?
Yeah, so I mean, preconception is obviously, I mean, we really want to nourish our body as much as possible.
Mhm.
So it's really about I always lighten the load with my preconception journey women. So we're sort of avoiding, I mean, specific to exercise, are we talking, or just in general?
No, no, no. Exercise only specific to exercise.
Exercise. So
Yeah.
yeah, with exercise with preconception, I really like to take the load off. So we're avoiding those sort of high intense hit sessions. You want to look at putting on some body fat because as women, we need to really nourish our pregnancy. So you're looking, if you're too lean or too, your abs are very visible or something, we really want to nourish that body fat. To make sure our hormones are working optimally. So you're looking at more coming inwards. We're looking at more meditation, breath work. And then additionally with the exercise, it's about getting your body strong, especially that pelvic region. So your
Mhm.
pelvic floor, as well as your lower back so that you're able to support the new load that you're going to be coming into with your pregnancy and support the hormonal changes that will happen as well.
So that's the preparing your body. So that's the step one stage, right? We're talking
Yep.
about preparation, like putting the ingredients together for the main dish that's coming. That's the baby that's coming. So
It,
we get all these pelvic floor. We want to make sure we strengthen our pelvic floor, and then the back, right? And it's because we're going to
yeah.
carry that weight now. Um,
Exactly. So it's about strengthening your whole posterior chain, really. So you're looking at your upper back, your mid back, lower back,
mhm,
because obviously we're putting all this extra weight on the front. So our posture will naturally come in that forward
mhm.
kyphotic type posture. So it's really important to keep those muscles at the back strong so that we can avoid things like back pain, and we can try to avoid things like pelvic girdle pain and
Mhm.
SI joint pain. So all of that is really important to keep your body supported, but also not going too intense is really
Mhm.
important in that preconception phase, because you want to allow your body to fully recover and your hormones to be working effectively.
Mhm. Okay, so now let's say someone goes through pregnancy. Now there are
Mhm.
three trimesters, right? So how
Yep.
does the exercise differ from each trimester?
Yeah. So, I mean, the general premise of exercise doesn't really change over the three trimesters, but you will experience obviously such different things over the three trimesters. So there's modifications and adaptations that need to be made. And it's really important that you actually either work with somebody that understands these changes or know them yourself. And so in trimester one, obviously, to be honest, whatever you can do is a bonus. So we know that most women are not feeling very well during their trimester one. But on the same token, movement is medicine. So it's really important that you are able to maintain some form of movement. And I like to not put too much pressure on women in this trimester one. The we're trying to get the baby to stick to the womb, and all this type of changes is happening. So it's just, I would like to do more slow restorative yoga type work, just really gentle pelvic floor activation, and just walking would be my ideal recommendations for trimester 1. But it depends how you're feeling. Some women go through trimester 1 feeling incredible. And if that is the case, then you can obviously continue on with exercise. Again, you don't want to go too extreme. So I would be avoiding those, you know, super high intense type HIIT workouts in your trimester 1. But if you're an athlete, or if you've been doing something like that for a long time, then I wouldn't necessarily change what you have been doing, because that's more of a stress on the body.
Okay, then moving on to the next 2 trimesters.
So trimester 2, obviously, generally, I'm being very general here, but generally women start to get a bit more energy back. But we're now experiencing all the hormonal changes. So what's happening is we're getting our beautiful hormone relaxin is really coming into play now. So it's helping open up our body, and especially that pelvis. So we're getting a lot of, you know, pelvic instability. And a lot of like the cartilage in our pelvis, we might experience SI joint pain. So just at that base of our spine, just that lower back, and also the front of our pelvis. So back pain and all this sort of starts to come into play in about trimester 2. So it's really, really important to stabilize your body in this trimester. It's really important to do strengthening exercises. And more so, I like to focus on bilateral movements. So we're looking at double legs. So when you're doing single leg movements in trimester 2, like deep lunges, if you're already prone to hypermobility, which a lot of women are, so your joints are over flexible, then it can be quite opening, and it can actually cause you more pain. So I like to think of trimester 2 as a real sort of getting you nice and strong and stable for the final home stretch, which is trimester 3, where we obviously experience the most postural change, because we are putting on the most amount of weight. Our baby is growing now at a crazy rate. Obviously our blood volume is almost doubling, so we're going to be noticing things like we're going to be getting much more puffed easier. We're getting pressure on our diaphragm, so our oxygen intake is going to be limited. So maybe your cardio type exercise is going to be dropped a little bit. But yeah, it's really important again to focus on that strengthening and stabilizing of all the joints. That's my primary sort of goal for those trimester 2 and trimester 3, to really prepare you for postpartum, so that you are hopefully injury free and you haven't done any sort of long-term damage. Because you see a lot of women, they go through pregnancy and they think that while, you know, you can do absolutely anything, and while that's mostly the truth, you're having a lot of postural changes, a lot of hormonal changes, so we do need to adjust.
Absolutely. So maybe can you give us some examples of some yoga poses that you would recommend, like, or some breathing, just maybe the names? I know the screen is so tiny, we can't see you do demo here, but maybe some names of some yoga poses.
Yeah, so I mean, yoga is obviously fantastic for pregnancy. So some of my favorite poses for yoga is you're just looking at your cat-cows. It's incredible for bringing vitality back to the spine, but it's also really good for getting bum into a good position, because it allows our belly and some weight to be taken off our spine. So cat-cow is fantastic. Malasana squat. So I mean, that is my all-time favorite, is any sort of deep squat holds, and that goes for exercise as well. It's incredible for not only strengthening the pelvic floor, but it's also really, really good for helping relax the pelvic floor. And I think a lot of people don't sort of talk about relaxing the pelvic floor during pregnancy, because it's sort of like a bit foreign, but it's very, very important to help relax the pelvic floor, because we need to allow a safe and effective passage for our baby to come through into the world. So if the pelvic floor is quite tight, the baby won't necessarily come through as simple and easy. So it might be more stalled labor. So they're sort of my 2 favorite yoga poses. With breath work, obviously during pregnancy, you don't want to do any breath retention work. We want to allow the breath to keep flowing quite easily. I mean, it's really simple and easy for women to do is just diaphragmatic breathing. So breathing down into the diaphragm, that naturally helps relax and open the pelvic floor. So it's also a really good tool to take into your labor as well. So that's a really easy, effective one.
Okay, well, I think that's great. I mean, these are simple tips that women can do, without, otherwise they should consult with someone like yourself who specializes in pregnancy exercises. Anything else on exercises that you want to add?
I mean, there's so much I can add realistically.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, to be honest, I just think it's a really important and precious time that I think you really need to listen to your body. And I think as women, what we tend to do is we tend to think we can do it all and we can be it all and we can be superwoman. But what we really need to understand and learn is we just need to take time and really help nourish our own bodies. And movement is medicine, but it also can not be medicine, if that makes sense. So you can really so you can really do some injury during pregnancy, and because of our hormones, and you need to know that you're not the same person as you were pre-pregnancy. We are now fundamentally different, which is a beautiful thing because we're creating life, but it's just you need to make sure that you're aware of the changes that you need to make, but at the same token, continue on, because the health benefits of exercising during pregnancy are immeasurable, really. They're just incredible, and they will take you all throughout the rest of your life, and a healthy postpartum recovery is what we ideally really want, is so that we can continue on with our normal life post-pregnancy.
Sure. Well, thank you so much, Claire, for sharing all these tips to all the women out there who are pregnant or thinking of having a baby. Just kind of preparation here, right? For the little one.
Absolutely.
You want to make sure you prepare your body. It's strong and strength, to your point, and take it easy. Like, listen to your body while you're pregnant and don't push yourself so much as far as the exercise is concerned, right?
Completely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Claire, again. I see people joining us. We were talking about women exercises for pregnancy. You can, this video would be live on our IGTV. You're welcome to catch it. But we are going to wrap up the session now. I'm sorry. We are just finishing up. And thank you again, Claire, for being with us.
Thank you very much for having me. Lovely to speak.
Yes.
Bye.